It's rated black for a reason. Not playing around. Okay, this is European skiing. Relax.
Do you like 150 Days of Winter?
But you are the YouTuber. You've always been the YouTuber.
I think you did a good job.
So welcome to this year's edition of How to Ski the Grand Couloir. If you, of course, are new to this series and new to this channel, every year I make a little video where I critique people's videos of that year as they ski down the Grand Couloir, making a few observations and trying to be a little bit critical, but just in a fun way of saying how the mistakes people are making as they ski down the Grand Couloir. Going back even a step, if you didn't already know, the Grand Couloir is probably one of the most famous runs in Courchevel, and depending on who you see, it's probably the most steepest run in the Alps. Basically, it used to be an off-piste run, which got changed to a black pisted run. When I say pisted run, it's marked. It's not actually bashed or anything like that. So it's received its mythical status that it has, and subsequently everybody who comes to Courchevel wants to go and ski the Grand Couloir, for better or for worse. And of course this year as well, after a 3-year absence, the teleferique that goes up is finally back in action. Yay, money! So it's much easier for people from Courchevel to actually get to ski it. Before we get to that, of course, it wouldn't be a YouTube channel without me shilling merch. And of course, if you didn't know, I have a t-shirt store where I sell funny ski-related t-shirts with designs rather like this one, like this one, or even like this one. Actually, there are over 50-60 designs. So if you would like to support the channel, feel free to go and click on the link down below and go and peruse the shop. They are very competitively priced, end up helping the channel if you buy one. However, why don't we go and watch the first video? So we have our first video, and this is from a channel that says The Ski Archive, and the video is titled The Grand Couloir Full Run. There's so many things wrong with that, but we will come to that when we come to that. By the looks of it, this gentleman here is skiing down it with a group of his mates. And you can see in the distance they have all gone away, and this guy, it looks like there's been recent snowfall, and of course the first problem that he has of his mates seem to be a lot less adept skiers than he is, and they're having problems with the path. And I'm going to say that the path at the moment is looking in really good condition. Yes, even when you go down the path, you are allowed the obligatory look down the first of the couloirs, and of course going into the first bowl. And once again, I will say it again, that the snow conditions at the moment are looking very good. Everyone's putting their gloves on and things, which is a strange thing to do about that. However, we basically going down into the first bowl, and again, by the looks of the way that the people he's skiing with are making their turns, it is it looks like they are a lot further out of their depth. And of course, by the looks of it, okay, so actually I need to just go and pause this. We immediately jumped from going into the first bowl to actually jumping all the way out of the first bowl. If you go and look where they're actually skiing, they are skiing down the right hand side of the piste. they are slaloming, if you like, the piste poles that are there. The piste poles are there to show you what is the safe left and right side of the piste, as in the Grand Couloir is, and they are skiing very much down the right, just as you can tell that they are skiing down the right because each of the piste markers has a little orange section at the top. So if you're ever skiing in a whiteout situation and you come to a piste marker and it has an orange section in it, you don't go to the right of it, ski to the left of it. This little bit of powder that is amazing, they immediately veer to the right, if you like. Now this couloir that they're going down is called the Emilie Alice. Excuse me if I mispronounce that there, but basically there are 3 couloirs under the Cellier. One is called the Grand Couloir, of course. One is called Sous le Téléphérique, which is unsurprisingly under the Téléphérique, and then you have Emilie Alice, which is a little piste that basically runs before the Grand Couloir. I must say that this piste is very much less skied than the Grand Couloir is. So if you are looking for steeper slope, I mean, it's marked as a red itinerary. It's marked as, whereas the Grand Couloir is marked as a black. However, because no one really skis on it, it is much less bumpy, but nevertheless it is still a difficult run. And you can also tell it's a difficult run because immediately when you go in there, on your right hand side you have a Dirty Great Gazex, which of course they are put into certain pistes as avalanche control. They pump gas through them, makes an explosion, pushes all the snow away. So if you are ever skiing down a run and you basically you go past one of these massive great bent tubes of metal, basically where it's pointing is avalanche prone, and you should take the relevant warnings because of that. Well, it looks like one of his mates has gone ahead, and of course who is having a bit of problems with this, and this gentleman with the red skis seems to be a lot more adept at actually skiing down it, which of course is good, and he's putting in some turns, and you can immediately see that it's getting a bit narrower here, which is so, and he of course is putting in some turns, and before you know it, they are out. The guy in front of it, you can see that he's snow ploughing into each of his turns, which is well, and of course they just went over a rock. The snow in this video is absolutely amazing, and it's a shame that they didn't actually try going down the Grand Couloir, because with snow in that conditions it would have been good. So I would basically, the snow on this one is a 10 out of 10. Their skiing for the Grand Couloir gets a big fat zero, because they skied half of the Grand Couloir, but they didn't ski the Grand Couloir bit that most people represent that. Okay, they went down a completely different couloir, and the fact that they didn't realize they were going down a completely different couloir, and they didn't mark their video as saying we're skiing down the other couloir or something like that. If of course you'd like me to do a video about all the couloirs and the names of them, by all means leave a comment down below and I will get around to doing it, because that's actually quite a good idea. Anyway, why don't we go and look at video number 2. So the second video that we have is very honestly titled saying amateurs first time shock going down the Grand Couloir. So let us jump in. So this gentleman here is, I think he did this run on the 23rd of February, and basically with a complete change from the snow from our first video, you can see that the path here is incredibly cut up and bumpy, and really the snow sounds good, but it's starting to get very cut up. And of course, as he goes down, of course, this person has decided that not only does he want to block the path, but he then wants to go and put his feet over and look down one of the other couloirs, which again, he is allowed to do. I do not make the rules down here. Anyway, so this amateur has made it down the path, which is, again, commendable. And of course, yes, even when you come down the path, you are allowed to look back at where you are. However, that is probably the only time you're allowed to look back up the slope. Yeah, and as he goes down, he immediately comes to another group in front of him. And sorry, being an amateur, he of course doesn't want to invade their space. He is going to try and follow this gentleman in front of him who is in red. I don't think he knows him at all. But again, here we start seeing the problems come in. And he is basically looking back up the mountain. I would say I do wish when amateurs film things, being that they're amateurs, that they lose all that informatics that they have in the bottom left hand corner, showing me the speed that they're going, which is like 10 kilometers an hour, is not really, productive, if you like. Anyway, so yes, this guy is decided he's following the path of the guy in red, and he is basically heading down the first bowl, and he's heading down the first bowl very carefully, which again is fine. Again, we've seen what's behind us. This is made worse by the fact that the group in front of him also look like they are amateurs, and they are having problems putting their turns in this first bowl. Please do not look back. As long as you are skiing, and this is one of the problems that this gentleman is having. Okay? And yes, I know you said you're an amateur, that's fine. One of the problems that you're not skiing this. Okay? You are side slipping this. Yeah? You are going down and you're putting in one turn. So after watching these people go down, again, he will go down. Of course, he sees a snowboarder fall over in front of him, and of course this can't do wonders for his general thought process, if you like, of going down here. But again, looking back uphill, we're not skiing this. Take it from a filmmaker. There are so many times that I will film something, I will watch it while I edit it, and go and look at it and go, I can't publish this. This is not good. I will then go back out there and reshoot it. But the fact is, this gentleman is not skiing the Grand Couloir. I know you're an amateur, I'm sorry, but you are not skiing the Grand Couloir. You are basically traversing across it, putting in a turn, traversing back across it, putting in a small turn, and each one of those is included with a pause. Yeah? And because he's pausing, other people who are actually trying to ski down it are getting in his way. And he is, of course, probably doing, oh my God, if I stop now, I'll let these guys go ahead of me. But of course, by doing that, it means that, and of course he says waiting for group to clear. No, you're going down, you've decided to go down a steep run. Please go down a steep run. You know what? If you fall over, fine. Then you can post a video of how I fell over when I skied down the Grand Couloir. And this is probably one of the problems that the people who ski the Grand Couloir have, is that because of its status, everyone's like, oh my God, I've got to go and ski the Grand Couloir. To which the next answer would be, are you comfortable skiing like Red's parallel? And they go, no, I've just gone from like blue runs. And you go, please don't try and ski the Grand Couloir, because you could so easily fall over, hurt yourself, and we don't want to see that. Yeah, it's rated black for a reason. And of course, yeah, as you can see from this guy, his speed is in single digits, and so there's no one behind him. And finally, when he goes to put a turn in, and again, he doesn't put another turn in, he goes across the other end, stops, and goes round. This is not skiing. Okay, this is side slipping, and fine. If you're learning, if you want to go down the Grand Couloir and you go, please, don't post this. Okay, wait till you've done it 2 or 3 times, or when there's good snow, and then you can actually go and put turns in and go and say, I skied the Grand Couloir. I actually skied it, as opposed to I stood in the middle of the Grand Couloir and I did absolutely nothing. I'm just being honest. So the snow itself, I will give it like a 7 out of 10. It sounds like it's getting worn, but it's crunchy. But for his skiing, I'm going to give it like a 2 for, because I'm feeling nice. Although saying that, again, start skiing. Relax, and let's move on to the next video. 2 East Coast skiers versus the Grand Couloir with a very Texan style, Western style font, which is good. I gotta say, one of the reasons why I picked this one is because it is American skiers, and I love hearing how American skiers deal with a European couloir. In my opinion, European couloirs are very different to the couloirs that are like most known in America. In America, you have like a cliff jump, you have a fairly straight line, there's maybe a little bit of rock to jump over, and then you ski out. Okay, this is way more technical. Okay, now one of the problems these guys are immediately having, and I think it says these guys skied on the 17th of March, which it looks like there has been some recent snow, but there is also on this day, it is slightly flat light, which of course is never a good thing. However, this guy goes and managed to ski the path very well. I think of course it's 2 skiers, so of course he is skiing this with his mate. And as he says, we're not playing around. Okay, this is European skiing. This isn't any of your easy American stuff. I'm joking, please. I'm joking about that. Okay, don't give me any hate in the comments. Okay, but again, when we move into the bowl, we can see that the snow is the bumps are starting to come back in, but it's really nice snow here. Okay. Good. And of course, it wouldn't, of course, be an American skier without better profanity as well. But again, when you consider what you're doing, it is good. I presume that the guy in front of him is his mate that he's doing. And several times he does say, "Oh, can you edit out this profanity?" which the guy didn't. So again, because of the flat light, it's a little hard to work out where the bumps are. However, they get down to through the bowl perfectly easily, and they of course head down to the final piece. When I say that, it's like, come on.
Hey, I think this guy knows where
And of course he points down to the right to where Emily Elise is. On a day like this, I wouldn't recommend it. Again, flatter light. And you can see that actually the top of the couloir has been roped off poles.
You can edit my swearing out, right?
And there are a lot of yellow and black poles, which of course point to rocks. Okay, they're not slalom. Let's see if this gentleman can actually put in a couple of turns down the main face of this. Yes, the snow cover is getting a bit bare by the sounds of it, but the snow is still very grippy, I'm going to say. And of course, the obligatory heavy breathing comes into this as well, because again, that is the way. It is a difficult run, and you heavy breathe when you actually try and ski it.
Look at that.
Look back to where his mate is.
Too easy, man. Too easy.
If it's too easy, then please show us.
My pants were black when I started this run, and now they're brown.
This guy's got the right idea. He
And I
wore the
give him
brown
marks
pants.
for making an interesting quip about the brown trousers. And again, by now, the actual moguls in front of him aren't incredibly large, and so he should very much have this in the bag and just be able to put in some turns and ski out of here. How would I rate that? Well, I'm going to say that the snow was, again, rather like the previous video. It was not as bad. I was going to say an 8 because it again, they're skiing it in flat light. Again, I would rate their descent. I would give them a 7 for their descent because again, they, unlike the other videos, they actually went and skied it, which is what I want. And we get a great commentary from this gentleman as we're skiing down. 7s all round. Let's watch the final video. It is made by a company called La Compagnie, and it was shot in the 15th of February, and their title of the thing is "We're skiing the Grand Couloir on kids' skis." They're actually skiing them on adult skis. They're like the modern day version of what would be blades. Now, if you don't know, back in the early 2000s, Salomon came out with a very short ski called a blade. It had a very basic binding on it, and it was very much like no poles, just carvy around on it. It was great fun, but like all these things, it went out of fashion. Rather like Kniesel used to have a thing called Big Feet, much the same thing. The Kniesel Big Feet were shaped like feet. However, nowadays they've now put on shorter skis, they now put proper bindings on with releases, etc. That's just to show how difficult what you're about to see is. Anyway, these gentlemen, I think they've done several videos, and they basically go around with like fake mullets on, and they have basically they're I'm not going to say they're clowns, but basically they behave in that way. I hope you enjoy this footage because it made me giggle as well, and they're all skiing down this on blades. Some of them are carrying full-size cameras, and they're just having fun, which is great. And of course, what wouldn't be, of course, standing right in the middle of the path, which again, doing this on a pair of blades, you can see that they're jumping and stuff is very difficult. Okay, no poles, blades. And you can also see that they have every type of camera filming this. They've got drones, DSLRs, GoPros, 360 cameras. Generally, people who have all that equipment can actually go and ski perfectly. Here we go. Oh, and and of course, and of course he wipes out, which is, it's fine to fall over, yeah? Well, not so much when you're falling around rocks, but basically these people are, I'm going to say, they know what they're doing, and they're just playing the fool, if you like. Now they've reached the second bowl. This is where it starts to get interesting. And of course, what would be better than playing rock, paper, scissors to see who goes down there first?
Ah! Tombé! On caillou, t'as abusé. Ouah, c'est raide. Ouais, bon! Wouhou! Oh! Ah! T'as vu tomber? Non, c'est une figure. Oh, c'est super dur.
And before you know it, they've exited the bowl and they're skiing out again, which is
Max, il va très fort.
that is
Incroyable.
so, yeah. Again, I mean, they fall over and make it look easy. There's nothing wrong with falling over. Okay. and skiing down it with a €1,000 camera in your hand, that is respectful from my point of view as well. Which is, oh, and he actually loses one of his skis as well, which is... I'm going to say snow conditions for them was like, I'm going to say an 8 as well. Maybe, no, we're going to stick with an 8. However, them skiing down it, 10 out of 10. Absolutely, what they're doing there is not easy whatsoever, and they're having fun, they're falling over, but basically, you know what, they're skiing it excellently, and massive respect for them for doing it. And yeah. So if you have enjoyed any of these videos, the links to the full videos are all down below. If you have any comments from what I've said, please leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'll be posting stuff all throughout the summer. If you'd like to click the like button down below, it would, of course, helps my video fight the algorithm. And of course, if you'd like to support the channel, the link down back there for my merch store is there, which again is great. And on that, I will see you all in the next video. Ciao.